Mayor Vadym Boichenko said the situation is so dire in Mariupol, where about 160,000 civilians are trapped without heat or power, that the port city must be completely evacuated. Boichenko said 26 buses were waiting to evacuate civilians, who have faced constant bombardment from Russian forces for days, but Vladimir Putin's men had not agreed to give them safe passage. The 160,000 civilians trapped in the city are encircled by Russian forces, with ever-dwindling supplies of food, water and medicine. Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs said Russian troops are turning the city into dust, describing the situation in Mariupol as catastrophic with people fighting to survive. Mayor Boichenko said, "The situation in the city remains difficult. People are beyond the line of humanitarian catastrophe. We need to completely evacuate Mariupol." Speaking about Russian troops not agreeing to allow the civilians safe passage from Mariupol, the mayor said, "The Russian Federation is playing with us. We are in the hands of the invaders." Russia said last week it had evacuated several 100,000 people from the war zone, but Ukraine said up to 15,000 civilians were forcibly deported from the left bank area of Mariupol to Russia. Mariupol is widely seen as a strategic prize for the Russian invaders to create a bridge between Crimea, annexed by Moscow in 2014, and two separatist enclaves in eastern Ukraine. Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs tweeted, "While Mariupol besieged and bombed, people fight to survive. The humanitarian situation in the city is catastrophic." Russian armed forces is turning the city into dust. Ukraine announced no plans to try to create safe corridors anywhere in the country on Monday, making clear it feared Russian attacks. "Our intelligence has reported possible provocations by the occupiers on the humanitarian corridor routes. So, for reasons of public safety, we are not opening any humanitarian corridors today," said Deputy Prime Minister Irina Vereshchuk. France, Greece and Turkey are hoping to launch a mass evacuation of civilians within days, according to French President Emmanuel Macron, who has sought an agreement from Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin. Fighting continues around Mariupol on Monday as Russian forces try to capture the port on the Sea of Azov, which connects to the Black Sea. But Russian troops have made no significant progress in the past 24 hours in Ukraine amid continuing supply problems and aggressive resistance from Ukrainian fighters, UK defense officials said. Poor morale and a lack of momentum have compounded the problems facing Russian forces, Britain's Ministry of Defense said in its latest intelligence briefing. Earlier, the ministry said Russia was maintaining a blockade of Ukraine's Black Sea coast, cutting off maritime trade with the country. The Russian Navy is also launching sporadic missile strikes against targets in Ukraine, the ministry said. Meanwhile, Russia and Ukraine will restart face-to-face peace negotiations on Monday, amid the warnings that the situation in Mariupol was catastrophic. President Volodymyr Zelensky hailed the resumption of over-the-table talks, saying they must bring peace without delay and signaling a willingness to compromise on the most sensitive topics. The two sides have not met in person in weeks, but will hold 3 days of talks in Istanbul from Monday, according to David Arakhamia, a Ukrainian negotiator, lawmaker and Zelensky ally. Several rounds of talks have already failed to end the war sparked by the Russian invasion, which is now in its second month. About 20,000 people have been killed, according to Zelensky. 10 million have fled their homes, and despite Russian military setbacks, several cities are still coming under withering bombardment.